searching the dark side of the mountain. Through my bones and hair and blood, words rise and cold snatched from my mouth to sink them into the cold black mud.
Well, we very much appreciate your hospitality. This is my sister, Wendy. She's visiting for a little bit from back home.
Where would back home be, Wendy? And she puts her hand out, and Wendy takes her hand, and she kisses her hand. Very nice meeting you. I'm from Cold Grove. That's a bit of a ways off. Out in Ohio, right? Right on the line with Kentucky. It's kind of like here. We're right on the line of two places. It's on the line of one. That is where it is. Ain't many people know about that place. You know, some of us pay attention to stuff and read books and whatnot. And she nudges Evangeline. Us readers, we got to stick together on these things. We got to know things. Why would people pay us for anything, right? Lemonade,
Jericho
sweet
goes,
tea.
I'm trained in reading.
Lemonade, sweet tea.
Yes, we came for your world-famous lemonade and also to just have a little bit of a visit and possibly discuss some other business.
Oh, is this a friendly and a business trip?
You could say.
Okay. Well, let's go out back and I'll get some lemonade together. You can enjoy the seats out back there. There are some that rock, some that do not. You can pick and choose. And she says, Jericho, could you help me get the lemonade together? We have not had an opportunity to actually talk for much.
Has been a few years, hasn't it?
It has, and never in my home.
That's a true statement, man. I will definitely help you with that lemonade.
We'll be back out there in a few moments. She takes you into the kitchen. And the kitchen's very nice. It's more open than most of the kitchens you've seen. There's some, like an island in the middle of the kitchen with big cutting boards and a lot of dried herbs hanging from some of the walls, pinned up to dry out and get right. There's some jars that you see that have things that you recognize, and then some jars things you do not recognize. I sense something concerning on you, if you don't mind me saying so. Did you bring anything I should be worrying about here?
Nothing that would concern you. Let's say, judging from your decor, as one practitioner of wonder to another, security measures. We were attacked by a knot wolf just earlier today. He gets a little more serious, thinking she understands what he's saying.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to hide it under, playful things. William out there got hurt pretty bad. There was a lot of potential for quite a bit of blood. It got right past my wards, to be honest.
With no repercussions?
It took a little damage, but at the end, it was strong enough to push through.
Oh, well, that's a little concerning.
It was. We handled it, but once again, through the power of friendship and a good blade and a good gun, we able to came through. But it was close and unexpected. It was in broad daylight. Concerning. So I am rolling a little deep, to put it one way.
Yeah, there have been a lot of strange happenings lately, and ever since that aeroplane crash, I suppose. Maybe even before that a little bit, but
the one right after your seance, correct?
Yes.
Yes, everything's been a little strange right since that seance.
I don't like to call it my seance. That was Evangeline's and Volney's seance. It was their auras that and their contacts with spirits that made things happen. I'm going to guess they'd spoken to you about that.
I heard a little about it, but it was mostly in terror and surprise right at the beginning, let me tell you.
Yeah.
They're sweet, but you know, not everyone needs to be thrown in head first into this type of world. They have the bad luck of having to suffer the violence of it the same day they learn it exists.
May I look at you for a moment?
It's been a long time since someone's asked me that, but yes.
And she kind of stands to the side. And what is there? And she points to where you had put one of the two things you were carrying. And like,
oh. First he'll pull out the little bottle of goo and be like, oh, William's tooth. And then I'll pull out the box. Does it have a canary bone and feathers in it? Is this a canary box?
can you put it on the table? I'll look at it for a moment.
Yeah, I just grabbed a few things on my way out, you know, break in case of emergencies.
And she looks at it. She does not touch it.
Fair.
I do not think this is a canary box.
Good to know, because
I don't
that
think this
could
is
have
something
been
good to
bad.
know either.
Oh. Shame.
I think this is a bone box. I think there is concerning things inside of it that have me a little worried. We
I feel
might,
that way about myself sometimes, so I get it.
Is this what you came for? You were worried about this thing?
Oh no, I was just carrying that around in case we got into a knife fight.
If you don't mind me asking, where did you come across this thing?
Where did I come across that thing? You know, I just gather so many things. I think I pulled it out of a spaghetti colander I had in my cupboard. Purposefully being vague with her. It's hard to know. You know, one does gestures around the room, gather things.
If you don't mind me asking, what is spaghetti?
Oh, it's this Italian. You mix flour, eggs, a little bit of oil, and water. Knead it together real good. It makes a pasta, a noodle.
All right. Well, your friends will be waiting. Let's get in there, might quick.
Are you a good witch or a bad one? It meant with all respect.
I ain't never killed nobody.
That's a good way to answer that.
And she takes the lemonade.
Lemonade.
She mixes up lemonade, and she goes over to a cupboard, and she pulls out a big white or a clear jug of some kind of clear liquid. And she said, I mean, I'm going to assume that no one wants just lemonade.
Oh, I would, actually.
Oh. So
I like to keep my head clear.
she pours a glass of just lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. And she pours the white liquid and the clear liquid into the rest.
How old would you think Wendy is, ma'am? Just judging from her appearance. I was having a hard time guessing.
Oh, 20, 22?
Oh, yeah, pour away.
She pours away.
They just have baby faces, that whole family.
And she picks up the lemonade. You can carry your glass. And there's a tray of glasses. Can you carry the tray, please?
I can.
And you all head out there, and you get out to the back. And the horses are running around in the back. They seem to be smart enough to kind of get to the tree line, and they never quite go out there. They stay within. We are back. If you are thirsty, I hope that you find this to be the finest lemonade for the next until you get to maybe TJ Booker's, perhaps. That might be the only finer lemonade you'll get. And
Not even bad.
Speaking from the romp, I can say that that's probably accurate, but still.
Oh, the romp was an interesting night.
The romp. Okay. Actually, do you know where you didn't go to the romp yesterday,
did not.
you?
I have heard rumors that it was a sleepy event.
Well, you don't know who showed up.
Would you like to tell me who showed up?
Granny Sidora.
Well, I would tell you that makes a lot more sense than it would have a few moments ago. Since Granny Sidora has not been alive in quite some time.
What?
What?
Granny Sidora is... If you saw Granny Sidora, you saw a ghost of Granny Sidora.
How's Wendy? How's Wendy look?
She looks like her eyes just bug out.
Boy's just gonna tell her drink.
And she starts drinking some lemonade, like handshaking.
I can go take her to feed the horses real quick, William, if you...
I already told her there were some strange goings, and we already...
Oh, good. All right.
It's...
What do you mean they met someone dead? You mean they met someone that looked like that person? Oh no, I mean they met a dead person.
Yeah, full-on black magic, Wendy.
This is very
I'm glad
strong
William
lemonade.
got
Thank
you
you.
here
I
and
appreciate that
got
so
you in
much.
this.
May I go pet your horses? You most
Yeah, that
certainly
might not be
may.
a bad idea.
And she heads out with the lemonade, still drinking as she walks.
Don't go too fast on that, by the way. Just be careful, okay? Don't get kicked, okay? It's happened before. Be careful. Just exuding big brother energy.
Yeah, she totally ignores all of it and heads out drinking, like trying to put down the lemonade in one.
So, Granny Sidora showed up.
With her sons.
Yeah.
We can take
sons.
each one of them.
Question. If the old dame is dead, sons? How does that work?
I don't rightly know. That's a
That's
question
what she
too.
called them.
I think I know. I might.
That's concerning. Not quite as concerning as Granny Sidora arriving. How did?
Well, when two ghosts fall in love,
I think I know where they came from, though.
Where, Volney?
You know that tomb that we went up to? That used to be full of bones. Stacked full.
You went out to the charnel house?
The what?
Why would you go out there? The charnel house. That ain't no place for no good witch to be going, or a good person to be going.
yeah, Volney.
I didn't know what it was. I just found it.
I'm
What's
surprised
the
you were all got
charnel
out.
house?
Well, a charnel house is a place where you put bones that have died through violence to keep their spirits contained. It's kind of old magic. It's not the kind of stuff people do much no more.
Oh.
I never actually opened the door, so I would suggest you not open the door either.
Oh, it was opened. Miss Evangeline, I believe, took the final mighty pull, and we got some crows in our faces.
And we saw a booger.
What?
I'm going to guess it was Miss Sidora. She was pretty upset.
It was a pitch black thing.
Scared the bejesus out of us.
I would not be surprised by that. I would be surprised that you... Should I assume you just fled the scene of the accident?
Yeah.
Okay.
I distracted it with a little bit of a trick, and we all hit the road.
Did you close
Kick
the
the door shut on the way out.
Okay. Well, that's
It
something, I
was,
suppose.
to be fair, spooky.
Yeah,
There's a couple other things.
More than a couple, my opinion, but
Things have been busy lately.
Oh,
Crowded.
And a
Tell.
bit confusing,
pray
to be
tell.
fair.
so you know that plane crash?
Well, yeah.
I wanted to lean and whisper it to her so that way nobody hears. We might have found what Sidoras were looking for.
And what would that be, Volney?
A hand that's regrowing itself.
I mean, things grow on decaying flesh.
it's like it started out about here. Now it's probably about to. Just stop me whenever I get to a point,
There,
Jericho.
that's fine.
A little small, yeah, a little bit
Yeah.
less.
About to here. That was within the past few days.
Well, that
It
ain't
fits in a
nothing-
thigh jar.
That ain't nothing I've ever seen or experienced, so I do not know what is happening with that. But I would be concerned about life coming to something that's dead.
Yeah, it does appear that the hand had never been dead to begin with.
It
It just sort of
moves.
stayed alive, yes.
And what really is the human story of forgiveness and grace beyond life coming to something that was dead? I'm more alarmed by death coming for things that are alive. As the granny was trying to take folks from the town
She shed her skin.
and the skin shedding, but she was trying to kidnap a man who wasn't very good at dancing. And then looked like she was going to take a few of us with her, but then Volney offered up his own thumbprint, as it were, on a bargain. And we're kind of looking at ways to negate the said bargain for our good friend Volney's eternal damnation.
You made a bargain with a booger?
Yeah.
With Granny Sidora?
Yeah.
What
Can
did
we kill her?
What did you offer?
The thing she was looking for.
The hand.
Yeah.
We think.
We think. We know she's looking for Daisy.
And what did she offer you in return?
I asked her to leave us all alone.
So, first off, you can't make a deal for everyone else.
I told you.
It's your own deal.
God damn it.
So, until you give that, though, you are completely up for whatever can happen.
I understand.
That's assuming she actually wants it. What if she just wants to terrorize you? Who knows what goes through a spirit?
Do you know what she is? Because, I mean, a booger, I mean, come on. There's much worse things than boogers out there, and she seems to have a lot more lasting power than a simple spook.
We
So-
played a game of cards with her.
They certainly did.
It sounds to me like you actually met a spirit wearing a husk. Which would explain the box you have, Jericho. The bone box. Does that box open in some way? Have you figured out how it opens?
If I remember right, I found that it opened last session. It had like a little drawer type of opening,
Yep, it does.
but then I believe I maybe attempted to use it, so it might have changed.
Well, you didn't really open to see what exactly was in it, but
There does appear to be some sort of sliding mechanism. I've just, been waiting to a calm moment.
we should take a look and make sure that we understand what we're looking at. If you could open it for us, please.
Do you have any sort of safe room for it, or is anywhere on your property?
We're out here, and I think we'll be okay here.
Open.
All right, and when you open it, there are bones in it. They seem to be connected by a leather strap.
So this is what was given her the form, possibly.
I'll drop it in Discord so you can see it. It is that is a bone necklace. And it can allow a spirit to contain a husk, and the bones themselves carry the memories so they can remember their life before.
So
While they're in the husk.
So they
You
would
got
not
this
have
off
the
Sedora?
remembrance now. This was in that pile that was left after we dealt with the violence at the card game table.
So these are Sedoras.
Yes, and
Annie
it
got
contains some of
their
Sedora's.
name, actually, if I remember right from the other evening. Annie found out the granny's real name, which could become very useful gesturing to our host. If we end up having entered any sort of magic, having one's name can be useful.
Can you turn those bones and see if there's anything written on any of them?
Oh, yeah, he'll grab them, he'll touch them, he'll flip them around.
And when you flip them around, can I get from you, Evangeline, what would it be? It would be it'll be a roll. For
Writing?
no, I would give it an anthropology roll.
Ooh, golly.
See
Okay.
if it matches my eyes.
14.
You recognize some of the runes that are carved in there from that book you've got, the leather book that you have never been able to figure out what it was, but after looking through that book so many times, those runes, some of them are in that.
Oh. Golly. Let me take a look at those. Oh, that's fascinating. Guess these are in the book that I borrowed. Oh, no.
Not in that
no,
book.
the other book.
In
No,
your-
the other book.
Your leather book that
Oh.
we've never mentioned, it is.
Oh, I've seen these before. I have a book with runes like these, and I've seen some of these in a section. How fascinating! Might I look at these later? I'd like to
Definitely.
record what's here.
Have I ever seen these runes?
You have not.
Deal. I should probably not put it on yet then, right?
No, but there is. I don't know if you can sense it, but I can sense there is still magic in that. And
Oh, definitely.
you can do things with someone else's magic that they cannot grant you. Like, if you use it correctly, you can see a memory from this person as long as you can identify the memory you would want to see. And that can be powerful, stuff. It can also be dangerous because you can learn things you never would like to know.
I'm going to think on that one.
Okay.
Is it like a one-time use type of situation for the memory, or is it I can just hop on in?
It is usually one time left by the time it's been used for holding the husk together, holding
We'll
the
save
spirit
that
to
for
a husk.
a real good question.
Do you know how?
I believe I know how to make use of it. Unless Gazzy has any insights beyond me just doing my work.
There are 10 bones there. You could allow up to 10 people to see that memory. You would see it in your mind, not out in the open. Kind of like during a seance, your eyes might roll back and you would all share.
Oh, some religious ecstasy.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe
And,
let's wait till we return with our friend Annie and not have, the lovely Wendy bird along.
And I might share my book with you, Jericho. Perhaps it may aid you in understanding, and you might aid me in understanding it.
That's back at your residence, I would assume.
Yes, or I could bring the book to you, either way.
Gazzy, sorry. We've had such a bunch of days. William, how's your shoulder? I told Gazzy in the kitchen you were attacked by a knot wolf earlier today.
I mean, it healed up pretty fast, honestly. But
Jericho, I am impressed. That is some quite good healing you did there.
Oh, I doubt I did much. I was more just grateful my friend was alive.
Don't let and she looks at you, William. Don't let him be humble like that. He is quite exceptional at that. If you are healed up from a bite like that.
And I mean, honestly, that's also with Evangeline shot at me. I mean, not intentionally, but with that wound as well.
I forgot to tell Wendy that Miss Evangeline Blanc shot you.
Well, to be fair,
Don't
I
tell
was
my
aiming
sister
for
that
the
I've been
dog.
shot.
She'll
Like
probably
this
think you're a
morning.
couple made in heaven if that's the case.
Fine. Next time I'll shoot sober. Maybe.
How's your seances been since the last one, Miss Gazzy?
I haven't had another one since then. I don't really do them that often no more. I'm always a little concerned about the people that come and want them just because they want them.
Yes. Not everyone needs a hint, that's for sure. What else did we have on a docket for Miss Gazzy besides just interrupting her on a beautiful day for some of her lemonade?
And the lemonade is really strong.
Miss Gazzy.
Just been sipping.
Really, William? You're the biggest, strongest one here, and you're the one sipping it like it's a bourbon.
It's strong.
Big brother
Yeah.
older.
It's
I gotta
supposed to be
be-
strong.
I understand and I appreciate that, but I also have a little sister to take care of. And, kind of start, looking just to make sure that she's still within eyesight from where I'm sitting.
She's walking around out there, and she's kind of... You can tell she's got a little bit of a buzz going already. And the glass is on the ground empty.
Volney, you're giving our host such sad eyes.
What were you going to say, Volney?
What type of booger lives in darkness
All types, as far as I know.
and has eyes that look like light?
I cannot speak for all the dead, but I think some of them just don't look the same as some of the others. I would say, though, that if you saw it near that charnel house, it probably came from a spirit affected by violence that put it in there, making it a very unsafe kind of spirit to contend with.
And if I saw one in a mine,
Have you seen one in a mine?
it led me out.
So did it take you out to assist you, or did it take you out to protect something? Because sometimes they are there to protect.
I don't know. I was a child.
You won't find the types of boogers to be that clear, Volney. It tends to be either a hunger or an impatience versus, a direct species or anything of that sort.
They're as individual as the people they come from.
And half as sad.
But if they're still here, they usually are here for reason, not not just to wander about.
Gazi, in your humble opinion as a local leader, do you think a charnel house could be cleansed?
That would be a mighty cleansing, I would think.
I have mighty support.
I mean, I think any place can be cleansed with, if you really need to. But a place like that may be a place where the dark rises up around us. So it may be not just the place, but the whole area might be quite dangerous.
I remember a story of a general talking to his soldiers who had lost every single battle for a week, and they had to keep retreating and keep retreating. And he knew they were going to die this last day, so to try to cheer up his soldiers, he went out and goes, "Troops, we've done so well that today we can attack in any direction." Because they were surrounded. Maybe we find ourselves in a similar situation. And maybe the Charner House is the first place of power we have found as a group of ragtag friends. If there's other places that people know of, like Volney and the mine shaft as a child, I don't know if William or Miss Evangeline have any locations that pop up straight in their minds of dark, terrible nightmares. You could always take Barbara there.
Have you met my mother?
I don't believe so. I have not had that pleasure.
Pleasure's a word.
Oh.
Gazi, if you were us, what direction would you point us in to try to help our friend Volney and his road to perdition? His lonesome road to perdition.
Are you a spiritual man, Volney?
Yes.
Perhaps God would be a good place for you to go.
I already tried.
Then maybe look to your friends and you can find comfort. Maybe you don't need to purge whatever's happened. Maybe you need to accept it. I don't know enough about it to know. I mean, it does not sound like an unpleasant experience you had with the first booger, but it sounds like a very unpleasant one you had with the second.
Well, there was another, I think.
I guess in reality, we just have to find a pig and then the deal's good.
It sounds to me like you are just attracting spirits from all around you.
Yeah, I was surrounded by crows first.
It was foul.
And then, God knows what, I felt a hand in mine, and then I got pushed into the creek. And I
By the hand?
I don't know. I don't know.
Was it a playful push in a creek, like whee, or like drown?
The next thing I knew, I was in there.
Then I had to go fish him out as I was walking back to the hotel.
That's when Matthew became a fisher of men. I remember that.
Did you get did that hand give you a push, or did you just jump on your own?
No, and there was a truck coming up behind me that I saw only after I was in the creek.
So did it save you from getting hit by that truck?
Maybe.
Well, it sounds like maybe some of these things are kind of angels around you, right? Protecting you and keeping you from harm.
I hope so.
But boy, we cannot really understand the motivations of these things unless they make them clear and obvious to us, and they do not seem to speak in those words. I'd be careful still.
Of course.
What's out in that direction? I kind of point to where the picture angle was. I'm like, I know there's that old abandoned house a few miles out there.
And the Guilty Hole Mine is there, of course.
Anything else of import you can think of in that vicinity? This is more your neck of the woods.
Yeah, you go beyond that a couple miles up into the hills, and there's the Standing Stones.
What?
I'm aware of the Standing Stones. That is where they are, aren't they? I always come in from the other side.
Yeah, the Standing Stones are that direction. They're out past that. You've been to the Standing Stones?
I believe I have, above table.
Yeah, that's you would know that to be Howling Rock Cove. That's where
Yeah.
the Standing Stones are.
I was
And
there
they are
once
that
and
direction. Now that you think about it and you see the coordination of direction, you know that it would
I
be
was
way
there
back
once, and it was important. Let's just put it that way.
I mean,
But that would make sense.
that is a place of spirits and stuff too. So you got to be careful there too. You're finding your ways to places that are more ancient than the people, the men and women of Guilty Hole. These are things from possibly even before the natives, the Native Americans that were there. They may have built them, or they may have been built by those before them. Some of this stuff. Obviously, the mine's not that. That was built by people here. Well, I think. I'm not really sure who carved that. But regardless, the charnel house, that is ancient stuff. That is old. I don't know why it's there or how it got there, but I just never felt inclined to go visit. And it never felt right to me. Same thing with the Standing Stones. I've been there once, and it made me uncomfortable.
Is Miss Evangeline to the side? Are they taking notes through all this? Like just watching everything
yeah.
on the record type of? Yeah.
Yeah, she would be. Yeah.
I think Jericho's getting a little quieter now when he realizes what big things they've started messing with.
If you know, out of curiosity, do you know how Miss Granny Sidora passed? I don't know if that's far enough into the history of the time. I genuinely, coming from out of town, I don't know nothing. But maybe if we have an idea of how she left this world, we might be able to help her.
That was my first thought with the necklace, but it appeals to some people like the bootlegger knew her in life, so maybe they all know some sort of story. What about you, Gazzy? Have you heard of how she met her end?
I don't know the details around it, but from what I understand, she was found dead in the woods, actually near the Standing Stones.
We're surrounded by signs, and we're doomed if we don't pay attention to them.
The green talks to us, but sometimes so does the darkness. It is sometimes hard to know the difference.
I'm gonna go feed a horse and let them talk to Gas.
Okay.
But Jericho's frustrated, needs to think.
Okay. It sounds like you all have found your way into a mystery, I suppose.
It does.
Yeah. Definitely more than I was looking for, but guess I'm stuck with it now.
No. Maybe I shouldn't have listened to that sick gut feeling that I got.
What's that, Volney?
Every once in a while, when I feel something weird's gonna happen, something bad's gonna happen, I get this very sick pit in the gut feeling. Like your stomach just drops out. And most of the time I go, but this time I stayed. I was supposed to be out of this town about a month ago.
Do you feel like you ought to be leaving this town now?
No. No.
It sounds to me like you all have some complicated business to deal with, but I'm not sure who or how to do it. Exactly.
Selkaziah specifically said that she was looking for something on that plane.
Well, she is related to Sedora.
That's
They're
true.
they're kin. And I don't know what she's looking for, but honestly, I don't have much trust for almost anyone that's particularly wealthy.
That's
Money
it.
does weird things to your brain.
Yes, it does.
She interacted with the granny and interacted with her. Like, she would know that she was gone, right?
Of course. Well, that
Okay. That's not good.
And, though the memory is vague, I do believe she may have drugged me and prevented me from getting down to the party. Why, I don't know.
she is a woman that follows her passions. Perhaps she. I don't like to ask these questions, but did you wake up feeling like you had been taken advantage of in some way?
No.
Okay, that's a good thing then.
But
Maybe
I
ask her
haven't yet-
why she did it. Is she I think she's good friends with the Loves. I mean, she's good friends with all the mine people.
Yes.
What? What do you know about? Like, I know that the Loves and the Sidoras and they all are kind of connected. The Idols? Is that a name that springs to mind to you?
Well, yeah, they're one of the owners of the mine, and
Okay.
they have
Oh,
banks
sorry.
too all over the place. So I suspect that they're, that's
Lots
their
of-
family, banking, mines, what have you, whatever makes
There's
a lot
lots
of
of
money.
names to keep track of.
I mean, Love, Otto, Elders. They're all a bunch of liars. They all got a lot of money.
There's just problems back home as well with the Idols. They're some sort of dispute with my pa, so hence why Wendy's here.
Who I will help walk up. Like, William, you should have fed or something.
She said she ate on the train.
Which day?
When you were coming in, you heard him mentioning that he had trouble with the Idols with his family, but you didn't know
Is
anything
old-
about the letter.
Is Gazzy talking bad on the rich from her mansion porch?
I'm a different kind of. I'm not rich like they're rich. I just have a nice home
None of us
over
are when we get
generations.
I'm gonna bring up Wendy. She ate the horse's carrot, William.
Claire? Okay. Okay. I need to get her back to the hotel then to let her sleep this off. You guys are more than welcome. I can walk home myself and I can carry. Considering I carried Annie back, I can carry Wendy back.
I can
was
give you a
hoping
little
so.
something that'll wake her up if you need her woke up. It's
She
just alcohol.
needs the rest. She just got back from the train.
You're going to carry her all the way from here to the hotel? I have rooms if you want to. If
you're
not
offering,
in
I really appreciate it. I appreciate your hospitality, ma'am.
consider it done. We can put her in a bed and she can rest through the night.
Thank you so much.
I mean, how would you carry her all the way?
We're leaving Wendy out here.
We'll let her at least rest this off.
You could all stay if you need to stay for the night. We are starting to get into the evening. It's a cool winter night. It is not an easy walk in the cold. It is not snowing, thank goodness.
Gassy, do you have any more of those unusual books?
I have dozens of good books.
Oh,
you'd like
if
to
you
take a look.
wouldn't mind sharing, I'd love to take your offer. It
Come.
would be an excellent opportunity to read.
Sure.
I would probably head in for the night. I have pets to feed at home.
What about you, Volney? Do you want a room, or you're gonna head out too?
I'm gonna head out.
All right.
Well, William, should we tell the inn to expect you on our way through town, or
No, I should stay here. Make sure that I can finish my lemonade in a much better pace now.
Oh, were you
Cheers.
going to finish that? I finished mine about an hour ago.
She pours you another one. Sorry,
Well,
I did
I'll
not
ma-
keep up.
I'll stop by the inn and make mention of it, just so they don't think, someone else got kidnapped from one of their rooms.
Thank you. Good luck with Barbara, I guess.
Oh, she'll be fine. I'll read to her. Drop off
What?
Volney at the church.
I actually wouldn't mind taking a look and maybe picking your brain about some strange happenings back home if you have any idea. There was some, I don't know, some weird stuff happening in Cold Grove.
Who are you
Well,
saying
I don't-
that to? Oh, to Jericho.
No, to
Gazzy.
Gazzy.
Oh,
You should get Gazzy's opinion first, and then I'll give you a better one tomorrow. How about that? But thank you for the lemonade and hospitality. It's a pleasure to cross your wards and be received in peace, and I bid you the same.
thank you. One of these days, I'm going to make it out to your home and
It's fun. There's
see what
wolves.
it's like. There ain't many wolves out in these.
Fucking 6 eyes. 6 fucking eyes.
I'll
And
start walking with Volney.
he
while
healed it like
saying
this.
that.
Okay.
It was wild.
It's a good thing you
I don't-
put it down then.
Yeah.
You should take your sister up, get her into a bed. You can go upstairs. The first door on the left is open. You can put her in there. There are
Thank
two
you.
beds in there. You can take one. She can take the other. Well, good night, Volney. I hope that you get your spirit problem resolved,
Thank you.
and you head out. You have a good night, Jericho. Keep him company till he gets home. Don't want no spirits bothering him again.
Aw, spirit schmearits.
When you go, Volney, you as you're out in the night, you get to that point where you kind of see the tree line, and there is like a feeling like in that direction that you get like a gut thing, not necessarily positive or negative, just a thing. Like, but maybe it's just because now you know, and that can kind of give you guidance in your head. Sometimes though, it's not guidance; it's warning.
Mm-hmm.
Can I catch him kind of eyeball in that direction?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get right up in Volney's face without much aggression, but you need to promise me you're never going that way alone.
100%.
All right, fair's fair. I believe you. Onward.
You know you remind me of him, right?
Jesus?
No.
I get that a lot.
No, Vincent.
Oh. Well, I will show up when we're supposed to hang out. How about that?
Yeah.
And we also have to stop by the post office when we get back to town so you can mail that letter.
We do.
So you stop by the town, drop off the letter, and then head back out.
To Vincent and a little heart in the corner.
Yeah.
Deal.
All right. And Evangeline, you go into, she takes you into her library, and it is a pretty well appointed library. A lot of things you have seen and known, but some things you have not.
Oh. You do collect. Excellent.
Oh, I love to read. Some of these are mysteries. I've got 1 or 2 romance books that are a little bit on the, I would just say they're titillating.
How risque. I love this. So, where do you keep the interesting ones?
Well, do you mean the ones that, I mean, that is an interesting one, but those aren't the most important ones.
Yes.
Those I don't have in this room. I have them up in my own private study. Let me show you those.
And, thank you. I understand why you keep them private.
And you go upstairs, and she leads you down the hall. You can hear kind of William and his sister kind of fumbling around as he's trying to put her in bed. And you go to the end of the room, and there's a big double door that is very obviously her own room. She opens the doors, and it's a really pretty, if not a little old-fashioned room, but not poorly decorated. It's got some taste, just an older fashioned taste. And there's a door off to the side from there, and she opens that, and there is a smaller room that is a study. It has a desk. It has there are a box of cigarettes and an ashtray, and there's a small wall of some books, and there are bibelots and tchotchkes and little figurines all around in here, some made of bone, or some look like maybe scrimshaw from like tusks and things like that. And I mean, I have done some traveling in my past, and I try and bring mementos back, I suppose. And these are the books that I would not display to just passers-by.
You know, in a small way, you remind me of my uncle. All your little knickknacks. He keeps small and large trophies too. But what books do you have?
Well, these here are ones on setting wards. These ones, you know, my mother and her mother before her collected and put notes in these as we've gone on. These here are books on, I would say, the histories that are not written in the history books. The things are a little bit more important than just dates and times. This one is a book on, I mean, don't tell the sheriff, this one is on making weapons, because sometimes you need a weapon.
Sometimes.
My favorite cocktails book.
Hmm.
In Prohibition, I don't even know if it's legal or not legal to know about it. I'm going to assume it's not illegal. But I don't know. I don't know how those laws work. Kind of ridiculous to come down from
You know,
Washington.
I'm not sure either, and I should. No. But anyways, go on. Yes.
These are some books that I am only partly understanding, where I have been trying to decipher things like pictograms that I have found in places around around Appalachia. In most cases, some of them are from as far south as Georgia. This one here, and she pulls out this one's from Pennsylvania. These are all from, and these are really old-looking books, worn leather. Some of them not even leather. Like one or two are made of either wood or bone or something. And
Oh.
you know, these ones, I don't even understand what I'm seeing in some of these. I'm trying to figure them out. I've been trying to figure them out since I had them.
That's just spiffy. I mentioned it downstairs. I have a book of my own. It was gifted to me, and I likewise am having trouble understanding it. I'll have to show it to you. Maybe we can cross-reference and come up with some answers.
I would love that. Maybe what you have will help me understand some of these things.
Yes, and vice versa. How fascinating. Do you mind if I look at that histories?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Thank you. I'd love to look at this tonight. And thank you for the hospitality.
Let me show you to your room, too, so you know where
Much obliged.
you're staying, right? I just want to make
Yes.
sure. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
And she puts you in the
Thank you.
room next to her room. At the end of the hall, there's one on the right. And it's a nice room. It's bigger than, like, there along the hall there were like 3 or 4 doors. Then there's hers at the end, and there's this one on the left. And that's the end of them all. She put you in that one. It's got a nice bed with, draped over the top, and it's got a vanity and all the things that you might need.
Excellent. Yeah. She will stay up way too late reading this book. Yeah.
Okay. And the lamps are full of oil, good to go. And I think this is where we'll break for the night. All right. It seemed to turn into a little bit of a knowledge dump at the end here. But some of the knowledge you'll need. So I'm happy with it that you got through it. All right. Well, we will see you next week, everyone.
Oh man, oh man.
Oh boy.
Did we make it home?
Oh, you do get home. Do you want to
Okay.
check something when you get home? Or
Oh no, I was just seeing
getting
if
there?
we were starting the next session on the road at night, or if we
No.
had
No, you get home.
deal.
And you'll actually get a night of sleep.
Would it be too much to see if there was any lights on at Annie's house on my way home?
There were
Like
no
not
li-
knocking.
Yeah, there were no lights.
Deal.
All right. We will see you in a week, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.
Good night.
Burning rock crackles smoke out of the mountain's mouth, hollowed by a cut, by a slash, by a fiery blow. Running through the valley like it's running through my veins, while red-eyed crows keep watch underneath the blood-red moon. My slunch-wide soul cries out to rise up against the tide of dusty songs cut hard from the dark mountain stone. Cut hard from the dark mountain stone. Cut hard from the dark